My name is Zico Cozier, and I'm going to share a little more with you about one of my COP26 stories. Caribbean island is world's fifth highest emitter per capita and needs bolder climate plan. So the island I'm talking about here is actually my home country of Trinidad and Tobago. In the region, we occupy a really unique position because unlike our neighbors to the north, we are not dependent on tourism to keep our economy afloat. In fact, we are an oil and gas economy. So that's how we ended up with the distinction of being the fifth highest emitter per capita. We also sit outside of the hurricane belt. And this is pretty significant because, once again, our neighbors to the north are living on the front line of the climate crisis because the climate crisis has caused warmer temperatures that have led to more intense hurricanes making landfall in several Caribbean islands like Barbuda and Dominica, for example. So for this story, I really wanted to learn a little bit more about how my country is perceived by some of its regional neighbors, as well as to explain some of the challenges that Trinidad and Tobago would face in trying to make an energy transition as a small island state. And what was learned is that a heavy investment goes into turning your economy into, I guess, an oil and gas driven economy. So for Trinidad and Tobago, it would need support to make a transition because it would be required to abandon this initial investment that was made and start over from scratch. And of course, the way that a democracy works, you have to consider the fact that governments change every 5 to 10 years. So when you consider that, a lot of planning tends to take place in terms of shorter term planning. So it requires a lot of political courage to see beyond that and lay down the foundation for a long-term transition to take place in your country. Of course, as a small island state, there's a certain amount of support that would be needed externally. So support and political will would be two of the major obstacles. This was learned from speaking with a regional energy official who was also able to shed some light on the regional perspective of Trinidad and Tobago's position, being one whereby there is a belief that more can be done, but at the same time, because of course looking at our actual NDCs, there's some belief that there's a lack of ambition, and this has been expressed not only by this particular individual, but by other experts in the region as well. So there's a belief that there can be more ambition, but there's also understanding that the support would be needed, as well as extreme political courage would need to happen as well for a true transition to take place. And this is what my story touches on.